It seems that Sviatogorsk has fallen, and there are reports that the Ukrainians have blown the bridge. If true, that means there are now no remaining Ukrainian strongholds on the eastern side of the Severodonetsk River. Sviatogorsk was the last Ukrainian position separating the Izium and Liman line. A few days ago, I had a debate with a couple of dudes, one of whom was a video gamer, vociferant defender of, is that a word, vociferant? Vociferously? Vociferant. Vociferously, he vociferously defended Ukraine. I'm sick. My mind's not here. And I also debated, we debated Azov something. His real name's Adam something, but I call him that affectionately, semi-affectionately, because he is an Azov Nazi defender. Well, I accused him of being an Azov Nazi defender and a Stefan Bandera defender, and I guess the only thing that he rebuked was that he was an Azov defender. He's like, I am not the Azov defender. And then he went on to say that Stefan Bandera is a controversial figure, but the real fascists in the world right now are people like Donald Trump or Marjorie Taylor Greene. They are proto-fascists. But Stefan Bandera is just a controversial figure. Well, anyways, during that debate, which was a lot of fun, I had a lot of fun during that debate. I always have fun in my debates because they're always very easy. I made the claim. Azov something asked me. He said, Jackson, he said, do you think that Russia will have more land controlled at the end of this month? Do you want to make a bet right now? I said, I'll make a bet that they have more land under control within the following week. And I wish I shook on it. I wish I made a bet. I'm not a betting man. I wish I made the bet because I would have been right. Russia today, actually yesterday, has officially announced that they have taken the town of Sviatogorsk. It is a beautiful town in the Donbass region. Let me show you a little video of it here so you can get an idea of this town. Look at this. First footage from Sviatogorsk after the town was taken by Russian forces this morning. So, apparently Sviatogorsk, Sviato means sacred, Gorsk means city or town, so it's the sacred town, sacred city. This is a bridge that was blown up by Ukrainian forces. We're going to talk about that in a second, but this was a video from above after they took the town. So, beautiful, beautiful town there, as you can see. Has a lot of, religious monuments and places of worship right along the riverbed. And it has come under Russian control. So again, I wish I took the bet because Russia has liberated Sviatogorsk. Now, Sviatogorsk is not like a massive town or anything like that, but it is an important town. And in the way in which the Russians took it is equally important. And the way in which Ukraine left it is also important to know. So, yes, this is more videos of it. Same video. As they put it here, it is the Sviatogorsk Lavra of the Moscow Patriarchate, Pearl of Orthodoxy in the Donbass. So it is a religiously and historically significant town in the Donbass. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, that looks like something out of like that looks like literally like what they try to replicate at Disneyland, how beautiful it is, Sviatogorsk was the last Ukrainian position separating the Izium and Liman line. Holding this entire stretch of the East Riverbank greatly simplifies things for Russia and brings them ever close to the Kramatorsk-Slavyansk agglomeration. So what they're saying here is that this is basically east of the riverbank. This is a significant victory for Russia because it was the last main holdouts there for the Ukrainians, and now they have captured it. This evening, the Ukrainian General Staff decided not to comment on the collapse of the defense of the Ukrainian armed forces in Sviatogorsk area, even though we are talking about the loss of the city, and even in the conditions when the Russian armed forces seized a bridgehead on the other side of the Seversky Donets. And this is a decidedly new operating factor, okay? Furthermore, we have this right here. So that bridge I was showing you, this bridge right here, you can see it's blown up. That's in Russian, I believe, so you can't see what they're saying, but this bridge has been blown up across the river. This tweet right here explains it. It seems that Sviatogorsk has fallen, and there are reports that the Ukrainians have blown the bridge. If true, that means there are now no remaining Ukrainian strongholds on the eastern side of the Severodonetsk River. Svyatogorsk was the last Ukrainian position separating the Izium and Liman line, okay? This is the moment of the explosion of the bridge across the Servitsky Donets near the Svyatogorsk Lavra. Ukrainian detachments blew it up to prevent the retreat of the armed forces of Ukraine from Svyatogorsk. Many militants had to swim to safety. Several people allegedly drowned. So this is the bridge being blown up by the Ukrainians. And now it has been confirmed that it was blown up by the Ukrainians. They didn't try to hide this or anything. But what I will say is, this has been widely reported as well. When they blew up that bridge, they left dozens of Ukrainian fighters on the opposite side of the bridge, essentially entrapped in one side by, the riverbed, entrapped in the other side by Russian fighters. So what did the Russians do? Excuse me, I'm sick. They let them cross. They let them swim across the river. And they basically, were like, look, like, you guys, this isn't going to go well for you. Come back to, and this was also put forward, the statement was put forward by the MOD. They said, just surrender. It's going to go much better for you if you surrender. You're not going to run the risk of something bad happening. I'm kind of limited in what I can say per YouTube community guidelines, but you get the idea. When you are in war, it is difficult to surrender. It is very difficult to surrender. In some circumstances, sure, it's easy. Like when it came to the Mariupol Underground Steelworks, it was easy to surrender because this is what everyone knew was going to happen. But when you're talking about a conflict zone, there's a lot of times where people are maybe trying to surrender, maybe trying to go AWOL, maybe trying to come across the Russian lines, who knows? And maybe they're not looking to fight. Maybe they're looking to get out of the fight. Maybe they're looking to surrender or withdraw. And if the Russians see them and don't recognize that they're trying to surrender because there's no clear sign that they're doing this, they're going to think that they're active combat troops and they are going to, probably take them out. So this is a very dangerous circumstance for the Ukrainian fighters to continue go back and fight rather than heed the call of the Russians to say, hey, you can surrender or you're going to have to, we'll let you swim across the river and go back to Ukrainian forces. But I mean, it's your situations look far more grim if you do that. Just putting it out there. They chose to swim across. They didn't surrender. They went across the river. The Russians let them go across. Had they tried to take them out, there would have been a bloodbath. Would have been, it would have been very bad. They let them go across back to Ukrainian lines, and they blew the river up. Now, there was something else really interesting that happened in Svyatogorsk when the Ukrainians left. And I'll show you what the Ukrainians claimed happened first, and then I'll show you the truth. All right. So when the Ukrainians left, this is what they said. They put this out on their Ukrainian mission to the OSCE and UN in Vienna and posted, after Russia's bombardment, a wooden All Saints monastery of Svyatogorsk Lavra is on fire. It's affiliated with Moscow Patriarchate. On 30.05, Russia killed 4 monks here. Would Patriarch Kirill finally call President Putin to end the war, or would he continue blessing Russia's army? So, if you know anything, you would know just how delusional it would be for the Russians to bomb anywhere near the monastery of Svyatogorsk. And this is affiliated with the Patriarch. It makes no sense. No sense. It would be the last place that the Russians would seek to target. And again, they had full control of this area, and there's no reason for them to do this. If they already had full control over this area, we know that the Ukrainians were blowing up bridges, as we saw in this video right here when they left. And they claim that it was the Russians who blew this building up. But as you can see, or you're about to see, that's not the case. Local residents and monks in liberated Svyatogorsk DPR confirm Ukrainian nationalists deliberately set fire to the wooden skeet of All Saints on Russian land, June 5th. Kiev's Ukrainian Nazi values are diametric opposites of Orthodox Ukrainian historical values. So there you see it. It is clear that the Ukrainians were the ones who set this on fire, and then they tried to place the blame on the Russians. The Monastery Church of Moscow Patriarchate set on fire by soldiers of the 79th Airborne Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, retreating from the Svyatogorsk area. Zelensky lied about this and said it was a Russian attack. All right. 4 people were killed and 4 were injured in this attack. This Twitter user wrote, Nazis have absolutely nothing sacred. They set fire to the 16th century wooden monastery of All Saints in the Svyatogorsk Lavra. There's another photo of it. And furthermore, we have now seen that the mayor of Svyatogorsk, Vladimir Bandura, confirmed that the Ukrainian Nazis were the ones who set fire to a wooden hermitage in the Holy Dormition Lavra. So this is the video of Vladimir, the head of Svyatogorsk, who is saying that, yes, it was Ukrainian Nazis who were the ones killing the monks, 4 monks, and they're the ones who also lit the building on fire, but they were hiding these facts. So that's him saying it. It's in Ukrainian, I'd imagine, or Russian, so I can't understand it, but this is what has been translated. So again, you have Ukrainians that have had to retreat from a very important town, the last holdout east on the eastern bank of the Svirsky Donets River. You now see that they had to blow up the bridge that crossed the river, and their own troops were caught on the other side of the bridge, so they had to swim across. This was after they'd blown up the bridge. We saw them kill 4 monks, injure 4 other people that were in that monastery, and then lit it on fire. They blamed the Russians. It would make no sense for the Russians to target or kill monks at a holy site that is linked with the Patriarchate. And then they blame the Russians, and they're also not acknowledging that they lost this town. So more L's taken by the Ukrainian military, and just goes to show that everything we are saying here is correct. Thanks for watching that episode of The Dive. If you'd like to support independent journalism, be sure to subscribe and consider becoming a member on my Patreon using the link below.